Welcome to Diversity and Inequality. This is a sociology class, and my name is Professor Hopf. I've created this online tutorial in order to help orient you towards the class and understand some of the administrative and policy issues that you should be aware of in order to succeed in the class. I'm going to walk you through the syllabus in this tutorial in order to create a roadmap of this class so you understand where you're going and what you'll be studying. I'm going to talk briefly about some of the information that's going to be presented during the semester. We're going to be looking at different dimensions of inequality and try to understand what the sources and the problems are and the policy issues that need to be considered in order to understand the root of inequality. We'll also be looking at the issue of diversity. In general, we'll be looking at the issues of social class, gender, and race and ethnicity, and we'll be focusing on United States society and United States policies, but we'll also be doing some comparisons to other countries in order to understand a more global perspective of diversity and inequality. A little bit of background about myself so you understand some of the ideas that I may be presenting come from a practical perspective. I have a master's in sociology, which I received from Colorado State University. I did not get a PhD. I have a Juris Doctorate. The JD gives you the credentials so that you can sit for a bar exam in any of the 50 states. So I'm a licensed attorney in both Indiana and Kentucky, and I work for the Department of Public Advocacy, which is located out of Frankfort, Kentucky, representing indigent clients, indigent defense. And my work takes me across all the counties of Kentucky. So I see diverse population in my work. My office hours are from 4:40 to 5:20. I'm in the sociology department, which is located at Lutz Hall. That's at the south end of campus. My office is a shared office. It's room 106. That's 3 doors down from the main doors of the sociology department. If you come after 4:30 in the afternoon to come see me, the front doors of the sociology department are locked, but if you knock loudly on the door, I should be able to hear you. I also conduct office hours after class if you need to talk to me then. The best way to reach me by phone is by leaving a message at the sociology department, and I ask that you leave a message with the receptionist at the 6836 number. Because I have a shared office, that means that different people may be using the phone and may be pulling messages off the answering machine, so it's not a good idea to leave a message for me on that phone. The best way to reach me is through my email address at suzanne.hopf@louisville.edu. I generally respond to emails within 24 hours, although sometimes it's 48. That's exclusive of weekends and holidays. Please understand that sometimes email filters can be problematic. If you don't hear from me within 24 hours, don't assume that I'm ignoring your email. I never want to ignore anybody's emails, but sometimes they get filtered. Also, please be aware that if you use a non-university email address that I may not respond to you. The reason is that much of the information that students may be asking me is sensitive and is subject to the Federal Privacy Acts. So if I can't assure that it's you in the email, somebody that's from the University of Louisville, I may be limited in the information that I can give you. Also, if you're having your U of L email forwarded to another email address, sometimes that's problematic as well. I've had students who haven't received emails when they've forwarded their U of L email to a different address. So just be aware of that, and in general, it's best to use your regular official university email account for communication. The text that we'll be using in this class is Identities and Inequalities, and the author is Newman. That should be available at all 3 bookstores. You also need to be sure that you pick up a copy of the course pack at Gray's Bookstore. It has all the lecture notes in it. You really can't succeed in this course and keep up with the writing of the notes. So instead, I provide all my lecture notes in that course pack. Gray's is generally open till 8 o'clock at night during the fall semester, so if we end class early tonight, you'll be able to walk over there. So even if you haven't picked up the course pack by the first night of class, we will probably end a little bit early and you can walk over to Gray's Bookstore and pick it up then. Gray's Bookstore is located on 4th Street. I'm going to skip past the overview and the student learning outcomes You can read those for yourself on your own time. I want to talk a little bit about the organization of the course. The course is approximately 45% lecture and 55% workshops, videos, and discussion. It's very important that you are prepared for class. You should read all of the reading materials and view any assigned videos before you come to class. It's also very important that you bring your course pack to class. The course pack is arranged so that the PowerPoint slides are on the left side, and there's an area on the right side of every page where you can write your class notes. There are 4 quizzes that are scheduled. Each is worth 15% of your final grade. Your lowest quiz grade will be dropped. There won't be any makeups that are allowed unless there's some sort of clearly documented type of emergency circumstances. Quizzes are generally multiple choice, but may also include a few true-false questions. If you prefer to take an essay quiz, that can be arranged. You'll need to notify me a couple of days in advance that you prefer to take an essay quiz. You can come to my office hours and start the essay then, and then finish the essay during the first part of class. You should also plan on taking all 4 quizzes. If you decide not to study for the first quiz because you think you just want to take that as your drop and you have extenuating circumstances later on in the semester, then I won't allow you to make up the extra quiz. So all students should plan on taking all 4 quizzes. The quizzes may be cumulative. There is a final quiz at the end of the semester that is also cumulative. Students are evaluated in those 4 quizzes. The lowest grade is dropped in 3 assignments, 1 presentation and 1 short reflective exercise, and also class participation and preparation. There may be some extra credit opportunities. If I decide to put some extra credit opportunities, your final grade is calculated using the following formula. There are 4 quizzes, each worth 15%, but because your lowest quiz grade is dropped, it's only equal to 45% of your total end of semester. Your final grade is calculated using the following formula. You have 4 quizzes, but since your lowest quiz grade is dropped, it's only worth 45%. Class participation and attendance is 10%. There's a video review assignment that's worth 10%. There's a group or team wiki project that's worth 20%. There's an assignment on concept mapping that's worth 5%. There's an end of semester reflection that's worth 5%. And there's also a presentation at the end of the semester that's worth 5%. Your grade is calculated using the standard grading criteria. Something that's very important to note is that there's a strict cell phone policy that requires all phones to be turned to silent or vibrate mode. I also request that students do not use their computers, that they do not text during class, because all of your lecture, I think it's very important for students to be focused on what's happening in class. So that's why I have that no electronic and cell phone device policy. If you are using an electronic device during class, I will stop class and either ask you to put your device away, or if you've done it more than once, I'll ask you to leave the classroom. You should also review the university guidelines regarding academic misconduct. I put some information in Blackboard on plagiarism and academic misconduct, and I ask that you review those. Your assignments are subject to be turned in and evaluated through SafeAssign. SafeAssign will review your written work, and it will match it to anything that's posted on the internet that uses the same kind of verbiage, and it also will run it against a database of other safe assignments that have been turned in by other students. So if you haven't written it, there's a chance that SafeAssign will catch it and will flag it for me. Instances of that will be reported to the dean's office and will be subject to academic discipline. As I said, there's several different assignments. There's a video review, a wiki project, there's a concept mapping assignment, and there's also a team presentation. And more information will be given regarding that, and also some written instructions, and probably also a YouTube tutorial on how to complete the assignments will also be posted. Just a note about the reading schedule. Sometimes students have questions about the reading schedule. The date is posted on the left side, and then if you scroll over to the right, that shows you what the corresponding reading assignment would be. So for example, on August 27th, I would expect you to have read Chapter 1 of Newman And this does mean that you should be reading in advance. And I know that some students think that they should just come to the first day of class and they shouldn't have any assignments. But the way that everything is set up, we're going to be jumping into lecture material immediately the first night. So I want you to be prepared and have read chapter 1 of Newman's book. Another example, on September 3rd, I expect to cover Newman chapter 2 and also hopefully the essay by Fry on oppression, which is posted in Blackboard. As far as due dates are concerned, they're also posted in the reading schedule. Quiz 1 opens on September 11th and closes on September 16th. You're going to have a window of opportunity for taking that quiz. I do not email students when the quiz is open. I do not email students when assignments are due. I expect that you will be keeping track of what's due by looking at the reading schedule and the syllabus. And also, I will more than likely post an announcement which gives you the various due dates during the semester so you can keep track doing that. But don't expect me to email you every time something is due or every time the quiz opens, because rather than doing that, I just keep track of everything according to this calendar. So if you scroll down through, if you go down through the entire reading schedule, it'll give you all the due dates of the corresponding semester's assignments.